Where's the excitement, the energy, the fans?
I'm getting tingly!
Don't ask questions. Don't pry. Be patient and remember that even though they may not seem to want affection, they need it now.
Don't think you can pull this on me.
Does this seem reasonable to you?
Look who's here. This is gonna be one of those days.
It's gonna be really classy. It's gonna be really fantastic. It's gonna be you.
Let's do it!
Hi, everybody, and welcome to NSS. This is the Reynolds Report. Joe Biden invited plenty of guests to his virtual inauguration parade today, and one of them is TikTok star Nathan Apodaca. Apodaca is the skateboarder who went viral with his charming TikTok video set to Fleetwood Mac's Dreams last year. Sources who worked on the parade say they asked Apodaca to join because of how feel-good his viral moment was, bringing joy to people across the world at a time that was anything but joyful for most. Inaugural poet Amanda Gorman delivered a powerful poem at Joe Biden's inauguration. If this young lady is the future of America, I'm all for it.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just is isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So While once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Yes, Joe Biden is the 46th president of the United States. Meanwhile, Trump and Melanie forgot Barron at the White House in some sort of Home Alone situation. The FBI arrested a 22-year-old woman who stole a laptop from Speaker Pelosi's office during the insurrection. And boy, was she disappointed when she found out it was running Windows XP. In Bulgaria, a priest was arrested for selling marijuana to his parishioners. The cops decided to stake out the church after hearing church bells playing Willie Nelson tunes. I just read in a new study that people who drink too much during middle age risk memory loss later in life. Also, I just read a new study where people who drink too much in middle age risk memory loss later in life. Time for Nobody Gives a F***. American Idol will return for another season February 14th. Some say you don't need American Idol to be discovered anymore. For instance, Justin Bieber gained fame thanks to YouTube and also a pact with Satan, but mostly YouTube. Hey, Beliebers, nobody gives a f***. WWE's Chris Jericho is furious that NBA fans body-shamed him, claiming he's a big fatso after his recent appearance on NBA Tonight. Oddly, it was the only time during the program that Shaq and Charles kept their mouths shut. And our fact of the day, 4.8 billion people own mobile phones, whereas only 4.2 billion own a toothbrush. I'm smelling a new invention here, folks. The iBrush. Hey, Tim Apple, nobody gives a f***. Thanks, everybody. We have a new episode of the Reynolds Report for you every weekday. Be sure to check out NSS Live starring Frank D'Angelo, Tuesdays and Thursdays for NSS Live.